What's up? What's up, team? What's going on, team? So we're just waiting to hop on here. Um, our topic today is going to be our gut health and digestion. So just getting a couple people on here before we get ready to rock and roll. All right, just give us 1 second. What's up, Nene? How you doing today?
Hello, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Inside.
So how you been?
Good. Did some
So
on
we
calls
haven't been
today.
on for we missed 2 weeks. So we're bouncing back. We had some things going on in both of our lives the last 2 weeks, but we are back, and I'm excited because this is a topic that I deal with, and you know that I deal with this topic. And today we're going to be talking about our gut health. So, welcome back to Transformation Tuesday. This is week 8, and today we are going to be discussing something that a lot of people deal with but don't fully understand. And bloating and digestion and gut health is something that is very, very common amongst people. So, That's something I feel like we definitely need to discuss, Nene.
Absolutely. There's so many people who walk around feeling bloated on a regular basis or feel like I'm doing all the right things, but I don't understand why. So this is for you. So listen in. And so often, some of the things that people feel like are very healthy items can be the cause of why, or for the people who don't even notice the bloating until
Yeah,
we get it under control, then they realize, man, I've been walking around bloated this whole time.
yeah. I mean, the honest to God truth is, if your gut isn't right, then your fat loss won't be either.
Hmm.
We all know that, right?
Yep. The one thing we hear for the most part, and I think anybody who is watching this can probably relate. You wake up in the morning, you feel like my belly is super flat. And then by the time you eat one meal or middle of the day, that belly looks completely different. And I think that people have started to think that that's normal. Oh, that's just what happens when you eat, right? And you say, well, that's not really fat. That's how I digest food. But that's not really true.
Hmm. Yeah, so then people panic and they're feeling like they're not making any progress. But what's actually happening is that their body is just super inflamed, right? It's stressed and it's
Hmm.
not proper processing food properly. Um,
Hmm.
but what kind of situations are you dealing with in this aspect? Because are we talking things that are medical causes, or are we just talking bad food and irritation of the gut?
So it's a few things. Number one, everybody think about how it even happens because oftentimes people feel like, man, my belly looks so large, and they think all of a sudden they gained fat on their belly. No, it is water retention, gas, inflammation, and slow digestion. And so for a lot of people, that turns into it's the type of foods that you may be eating that don't agree with you and you just don't know, or from a medical standpoint, there's times when people do not have enough of what they need, i.e., digestive enzymes. How does that
Mhm.
even happen? Oftentimes, people who have eaten very restrictive diets, or they've gone on and off. One month I eat meat, the next one I don't. I for a few months been vegetarian. I came back. I excluded, all of these vegetables. Oh, wait, I stopped eating red meat. Oh, wait, I stopped eating chicken. This type of erratic, inconsistent eating behavior creates very low digestive enzymes. And so you find people really struggle to digest food because they don't have that and they don't understand why. And they don't even know what that means.
So is that something that's kind of like, say I start taking testosterone and now all of a sudden I lose it. Do those digestive enzymes ever get back, or now am I having to supplement for the rest of my life with these digestive enzymes? And do digestive enzymes, do you believe that they work and they help people? Supplemental.
Absolutely. And so there's a lot of different reasons why somebody could use them. So, your example, if someone's taking something else, they can absolutely start to take digestive enzymes and gradually wean off because we're also then changing their food at the same time so that they're eating things that help produce the right type of digestive enzymes. But there are a lot of people who will need to take some form of it for a long time. One that's really common is individuals who have had gallbladders removed. And there are a lot of people who fall in that camp, and all of a sudden now they do not digest food the same because they don't have bio storage. And that's part of what you need to be able to digest fats. And so all of a sudden now they need to take digestive enzymes. Or people who have irritable bowel syndrome, or somebody who may even have something like Crohn's, they may need to take digestive enzymes. Somebody
Mhm.
who has poor absorption, right? And there can be blood work that will show someone has poor absorption. They may need to take digestive enzymes. Some people may even
When you're
call them
saying
bitters.
poor absorption, absorption of what
You can have
and where?
somebody who of nutrients. So let's say somebody who doesn't, there's certain diseases, like say Sjogren's disease, they can't absorb B vitamins well. So you may need some type of digestive enzyme support. Or if you've been sick, let's say somebody who has had COVID, long COVID, they may need to take digestive enzymes because they can no longer, they have, their gut has been, that barrier has been
Broken
tampered
down.
with, or
Hmm.
it's not working as well. Some people may use the term leaky gut, even though that's not really, how it works.
Hmm.
But you have situations where you're not able to absorb foods the same way, and so that's where you may need it. But there's a lot of different reasons, and it doesn't mean someone takes it forever. Usually, once we change their food around and anything that may have been causing them the issue, we're able to fix that. They can come off of them. But again, someone say who has their gallbladder removed, they're probably going to take some form of it forever.
What are some things in inflammation? Because you were saying water retention, gas, slow digestion, but I think we deal with a lot of inflammation of the belly, right? So what are some things that you are like, man, this wreaks havoc on the gut, and you are going to be inflamed, and you are going to experience this 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10?
So believe it or not, there's no one size fits all approach there on things that are going to cause it. But number one, for each person, you really have to pay attention to when you eat certain things, how do you feel after? But some of the main culprits, believe it or not, can be oversupplementation. What do I mean by that? Especially things like green powders, fruit powders, protein powder. When you're doing so much of it, you can have a lot of inflammation through the gut, or you are eating something that truly doesn't agree with you. Example, you may be someone who does not digest broccoli well, but you eat it because they said it's good for you. It may not be good for you though, right? Or you're
Yeah.
taking a supplement, say like spirulina or chlorella, and it's aggravating your stomach and you don't notice it. And so these are the things that you have to be mindful of doing what works for you.
Hmm.
Cabbage for someone may not be a great option, but spinach is. So it's literally just paying attention because you oftentimes people only think of the big stuff like gluten, dairy as
Yeah.
irritants, but that
I
might not
always
be
think
somebody's
about
issue.
raffinous foods like
Yeah.
broccolis, your cauliflowers, those foods that when they break down in your gut, they expose gases. And like you said, it's not a one size fits all. So everybody
Mhm.
doesn't respond to raffinous foods the same way. But I am somebody that I have irritable bowel syndrome and lactose intolerance. So um, raffinous foods just tear me apart. And like you said, I have found though that broccolini doesn't irritate my stomach as bad as regular broccoli. I've been having broccolini and I haven't been feeling the same level of bloatedness that I tend to get if I'm just having traditional broccoli.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's only because broccolini, while it's called that, they're not in the same family.
they're not raffinous.
They're not in the same family. So that's why a lot of
Mm.
people can eat that one versus broccoli.
Yeah, so
Hmm.
I found I found that I've been able to do that. So that's been cool. But I
Hmm.
mean, it's like it's that whole thing of not knowing this. So now you start cutting food, you're unsure whether or not this is fat or if you're bloated, you're feeling off. So that starts to cause more stress and overtraining and things of that nature. So
Yep. I just had a
that's good to know.
conversation right before we were on this call that we are talking about even, eating oatmeal. That's why it's so personal.
I keep
You
going
have
back
to
and forth,
know your
Mimi. I'm like,
person. You have to know the person.
it can start bothering my stomach
Yep.
sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's the
the over
high
I don't
grains,
wasn't sure
right?
if it
And
was the
so
overnight oats or if it was something else that we were putting in the overnight, like what chai I think we were
and it
putting,
could
was
be
it chai seeds?
absolutely that. Because
Like,
there's so many people who eat overnight oats because it's perceived as this healthy, easy breakfast on the
yeah.
go. But number one, many of them, the quantity is too large for the person because their
Yeah.
digestive system isn't on all cylinders. It's not working quickly enough. So you find that it sits on someone. And if they don't have enough fiber, not enough water, it sits there and it's not helping them feel good. But they
No,
don't cut that out because they say, well, oatmeal is good for me. It must be something else. I'm going to cut out the gluten. I'm going to cut out my yogurt. And it may not be that at all. And it's those overnight oats. And so you really
yeah.
have to pay attention to when you eat something, how does that make you feel?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And over the last probably about 5 to 6 years, I've been trying to be a lot, especially since bodybuilding and being more conscious and aware of how I feel after I eat something. And I've even noticed the difference from having overnight oats to just having my oats in the morning without as many things added. I think what I was doing, I don't know. Um, but I do notice that I get bloated when I was having the overnight oats a little bit
Hmm.
more. Um, but it's like perfection. You can be eating, like you said, perfect, but and you thinking that you're doing the right thing, but it's still not good for your stomach, right?
Hmm.
So
And
what are
that's what
things
makes
that
it
get
feel so
affected from that?
confusing. Yep. And so then when you all of a sudden, right? Because once the gut is really inflamed, and I know it gets so much attention,
Hmm.
but once it's inflamed, number one, you're always going to have a puffy belly. But number two, when it's inflamed, you're going to have poor absorption. And once that
Yeah,
happens, that's when we're in this cycle of really poor energy. You don't recover well. You can also see very erratic hormones.
yeah.
It can stall your fat loss. I'll give a very easy example. Someone who's had compromised gut, they can be a young person who's in their, say, 32-year-old female, can start to have hot flashes and night sweats, and they'll think, well, am I in perimenopause? No, it's actually
Mm,
because they have
yep.
poor absorption, and then all of a sudden they don't sleep well because of that. They're trying to push through. I'm working out harder, I'm not sleeping. And so you start to see symptoms of what they would see peri, but it's not. It's actually your body saying, hey, I'm not recovering. I'm just not recovering well, and you're not paying attention to me. So I'm shooting off signals everywhere to tell you. And so sometimes it's literally like, hey, we need to change this food around a little bit so that you absorb it, you feel good, there's no bloating, less inflammation. Now you can sleep, the hot flashes have went away, temperature regulation is back where it needs to be, and those symptoms that they thought were pushing them into the next stage of life have gone away completely.
Yeah, so like serotonin is something that's produced in the gut, and that's a key neurotransmitter as well. So like neurotransmission gets dampered. It's like 70 to 80% of neurotransmission starts in the gut. And if you're having inflammation, um, you're going to be hindering things of neurotransmission, right? Like
Yep.
cognitive skills and thinking and
Hmm.
things of that, as well as about 70, 60 to 70% of your immune system starts in your gut. So when we're dealing with things like that, and we get to see, like, we see people that are habitually sick, and it's like you kind of can wrap them together of, oh, I know how you eat, and the things that you're doing is breaking down your immune system, and it's not allowing you to be able to effectively fight off whatever those viruses or cells are that are trying to infiltrate. And it's
Yep.
crazy that these things all kind of coincide and people don't really think of it. But inflammation is inflammation, and it's causing a issues everywhere in your body,
Yeah.
right?
And you'll see people with so many more sinus infections, or they've got colds, they're more susceptible to the flu. It's like constant. And
Yeah,
what they'll do is they'll say, well, oh, you know what? I'm gonna take, I'm gonna take more. This is what happens. I'm gonna take more greens powder. I'm gonna take more probiotics. But these things are not helping because they can't even colonize in your environment because it's damaged. And so it doesn't mean adding more of those things. It actually means stop doing some of those things so that we can just get you back on a normal routine with your food so your nervous system can calm down. For some people, we call
yeah,
that vagus nerve. It can calm
yeah.
down so that you can start to just recover.
I mean, because your gut health is heavily tied to your lifestyle. So like if you
Hmm.
can't calm down and then stress is at an all-time high, that does something to digestion, right?
Yep.
So it's going to slow your digestion down. So I just feel
It's,
like we need to be on
mhm.
point.
And then some of the tools, sometimes people will say, well, what do I do? How can I tell? Because a lot of people, they don't notice that it's happening. So some easy things that you can do right out of the gate is slow down. Most people are
Hmm.
eating on the go, they're eating on calls, they're talking,
Mm,
right? They're always talking and eating.
I'm a culprit of that.
Yeah. So it's like, or they eat fast, right? They eat so fast. So number one thing that you can do is slow down.
Yeah,
Don't get off the phone.
yeah,
Don't eat while you're on calls. Don't eat and have this whole conversation unless you're with somebody, right? If you're
yeah. One
socializing,
on
you're
one.
out to lunch, we're eating slower, we're talking, fine. But just in general, slow down so that you can chew your food long enough to help you, because sometimes that's really people's culprit. They don't
Yep,
actually chew their food well. My mom used to call it people who just mash their food and swallow it, right? You won't
yep.
give your digestive enzymes enough time to break that down, because people have to understand, when you eat your food, once you swallow it, it starts the process of breaking it down to liquid. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're someone who never chews your food well and you just mash it up and you're swallowing like whole pieces of food, your food, because emptying, right? Once it's out of your stomach, you never give your stomach acids enough time to
Yeah.
liquefy everything.
Yeah.
So now you've got food pieces floating through your intestine when it's supposed to be liquid.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder and people get uncomfortable. They can have a little bit of stomach aches, nausea, bloating, all because you just didn't, you would eat too fast. Slow down,
What about
right?
on the contrary of that, right? When all you're doing is juicing and you're not allowing that saliva, that amylase to start breaking down and create the brain and gut connection of, hey, we're about to take on something. When people are just drinking things, it tends to create some belly issues as well because they're not giving the belly enough time to say, oh shoot, we actually need to
Hmm.
activate, right? So like juicing
That's
can
a
have a little bit of a
completely
reverse one, right?
Yep, and that's a completely different subset of folks who this is when you guys, if you've heard us before, we talk about chewing your food and
Mm-hmm.
the state of mastication. You want to chew because people who always are liquid. I'm
Yeah.
going to do protein shakes only for breakfast. I'm going to do juicing fast and I'm not going to eat anything. Chewing is a part of creating digestive enzymes. And when people
Mm-hmm.
keep floating back and forth between not enough chewing and they want to liquid all their meals or either juice all the time and you're not eating, you have lower levels of digestive enzymes, lower levels of stomach acids. So then when you actually do eat, those are the people who then have more trouble digesting food. They're always going to say they're bloated or my stomach
Yep.
hurts, but they think I need to juice more. No, we actually need to start chewing more.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
that all went back to your number one. So number one, you said slow down while eating. What's another one?
Slow down while eating, and then also not stop being distracted. Many of us, right, we're on our phone, we're doing all these things, so you're not paying attention to kind of like the quality of your meal. It's
Mm-hmm.
not, it's rushed because you're distracted. And so you want to be able to eat in a place where you can actually just kind of focus on doing that as a task, right?
Gotcha.
And or folks who eat inconsistently. This is why when we talk about success, and I think people have heard us say this on a regular. Everything we do around health, fitness is around consistency. The best results come from the people who are consistent. Some of you may
Very
say that's
consistent.
boring, right?
But that's what
But
wins.
that's what
Boring wins,
works.
yo. Being
This is
able to
what
just stay
works.
headstrong in something for a long period of time and not lose. That's why marathons are so difficult, is to stay
Mhm.
locked in. A high rocks is like an hour. But to stay somewhere doing something, yes, it's like just stay
Yep.
consistent.
You got to be consistent. And so the more you are consistent with eating pattern and also eating times, your body is ready for you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you have days where you went the entire day and we hear it all the time, somebody says, oh, I didn't eat till 4 o'clock for the first time. What?
Yeah.
But
I
then the
don't even
next
get.
day you want to shove like 5 meals in your body. And then the next day you only ate two. Then the next day you ate once. And then one day you didn't eat at
I
all.
feel like
And
their day
so
is
these are
not
the things.
scheduled the same. No, it's no way
Yes.
that we wake up every day and train at 5 a.m. and I'm not eating till 4.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they must have a day where they get to sleep in. Like that just it just would be crazy.
No, but
You
people,
know?
so it's a vicious cycle because remember, hunger is a cue. And when people
Yeah.
have constantly ignored it and they just eat whenever, it's not a connection of now I am hungry or I am thirsty, and they're just eating based on when I have time to do it.
Yeah.
They never signal I'm hungry right now or this is my time. And so the more that people eat on a schedule, the hunger will show up. You have
Mhm.
to develop that. And I always tell people the people who are best at it are children. And gradually over time, that goes away when you're adults because we're distracted with other parts of life. And so when you lose that inconsistency, those are the people who see the most digestive concerns. Those are the people who are going to have the person who's like, oh my God, I threw up yesterday. And you're like, well, why? Do you have food poisoning? And you're like, no, my stomach was just hurting. What do you mean? Right? It's that type of stuff. Or my stomach is always cramping, or man, I'm super bloated, or I just feel uncomfortable. It's a
Mhm.
lack of consistency around an eating routine and times.
Yeah. Yeah. So you gave out 2. You got another one for us?
That was a three:
That
fast,
was your 3?
distracted, and inconsistent.
and inconsistent. I'm gonna add a fourth one: move after you're done eating. So I like to say,
Mhm.
try to get a 10-minute walk, walk 5 minutes one direction, walk 5 minutes another direction. Allow that food to hopefully digest somewhere and not just stay stagnant.
Mhm.
But like we always know, it's so simple. It's, one says that if you know better, you do better. But for some reason, people tend to skip over all of these things. But people want these advanced gut protocols, supplements, and detoxes, but they're not going to just do what you're saying right here, and that's sticking to the
Do the
basics,
basics.
being consistent with what their eating times, slowing down while they're eating, things of that nature that are going to actually help them feel
Yeah.
better, actually look better because they're not walking around bloated and distended, and actually able to train. I mean, I know when I am bloated, it could take me out of it. Me and we talk about it. I feel for women that, when you're in your menstrual cycle and you're feeling bloated, because I know how I feel, and I'm like, man, the cylinders aren't firing. I do not feel like training. It throws everything off. Like I said, that neurotransmission and connection is there between the gut and the mind. So it's going to tear down your training cycle and your day to day and your mental. So I feel like
Mhm.
people are going to see the benefits of changing and doing this, and your body's going to reflect your daily habits and not your occasional efforts, y'all.
Yep.
That's how
And
we
what's
win.
always crazy is the thing that people tend to gravitate to first are the more advanced, more complicated things
Hmm.
versus the simple. So it's the thing that sounds good. I'm going to do this detox. I'm going to take this gut cleanse, right?
It's
These are
crazy.
not these are not things that you should need, first of all. And then number two, it's a step that is so far beyond what most people need, because now you can be creating other issues, because now you flush your whole body out. And so it's good gut bacteria, it's
Hmm.
harsh. It can
Hmm.
it can overstimulate your body. It can stress the internal body that was already stressed. And sometimes you just need to relax into it a little bit. And we start with the most simple things first, which is let's control the things that we 100% control, which is eating consistently, and then slowing down so we chew all our food,
Yep.
and then sit down. Like, let's relax,
Yep.
walk a little bit,
I like that
sleep.
one.
These are the things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do. I definitely like that one. So these are things that you have within the 12-week program, right? That you
Mhm.
kind of assist people with and guide them through, and try to alleviate that gut issue. When we're just talking about you right now, how many times more than not are you dealing with people coming into your program that are dealing with gut health?
Pretty regularly, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I honestly would say maybe 50-50. And
Yeah.
you think like that shouldn't even be. It should be the rarity, but it's not. It's about 50-50. And I would tell you the majority of it comes from the things we just touched. Over supplementation, inconsistent eating routines.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those two
So
things right there will have a lot of you with a lot of issues.
yeah. So, if you're looking for some structure across your training, nutrition, and lifestyle, and if you're tired of feeling stuck and uncomfortable, inflamed, please tap in. Our link is going to be in this description for throughout this YouTube, and our LinkedIn and our Instagram page. So tap in. And next week we're going to be talking body recomposition, building curves, losing fat, and why the scale does not tell the full story.
Absolutely, because listen, for many of you, weight loss is not your only concern. It's how you change the way your body looks,
Yeah, for sure.
not just the
So
scale.
we appreciate you guys tapping in today. We'll see you guys next Tuesday at 12. Thank you, Nene. Good luck to everybody this week, y'all.
See you later.
Yeah, bet.